From Dial Square to Where. This fourth season of From Dial Square to Where, which is unbelievable. It's gone so quick. It's gone so quick. But I'll tell you now, the pre-season and going into the fourth season, probably the most exciting one of the four. That's for sure. Moving forward. But today we've got Ray with us. How are you, Ray?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on again.
No problem whatsoever.
Talk Arsenal.
Yes, absolutely. It's great to have you back. Great to have you back, mate. And Melvin, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Very good.
Very, very good. And Ryan, the other Ryan, Arse Brothers Ryan. How are you? Welcome back.
Always the other Ryan. Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm excited as much as everybody is to get this season started in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's gone quickly this summer, which I'm really, really pleased about. I know we're starting a bit earlier, football-wise, but let's have a quick word for the Ladies Euros as well. Fantastic achievement by the ladies. That's kept me going for the last few weeks. I was really enjoyed watching most of that, and congratulations to them and all the Arsenal players involved. But it's great to have us.
I'm watching it tonight. I recorded it. I'm watching it tonight.
Don't spoil the ending.
Exactly,
yeah. Right, well, let's go on with the show. We've got a lot to plough through being the first show back. And obviously the first port of call really is the pre-season and how it's gone, which is pretty flawless performances throughout the pre-season. Seeing some new players come in and completely transform the team. I'll come to you first, Ray. I mean, obviously we can't go through every single game that we've played in pre-season, but there's been some good ones, that's for sure. And we've had some very, very good additions to the squad. I mean, what's your overall thoughts going through them?
I think it's been brilliant, to be fair. Don't get me wrong, we've had certain halves in games where maybe our second string or third string have been playing and haven't really looked that great. But certainly our first 11 has bailed them out. And when they have played, they've been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, just the weekend in particular was just incredible. I was at the Emirates, I was there, and seeing some of these players actually live has actually got me excited for a season, for the first time in a very long time I can really remember. We'll get onto it, I'm sure, but Jesus, Saliba, like a new signing, Zinchenko down the left. Yeah, I mean, it looks so positive, and yeah, like I said, I literally just can't wait for the Palace game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just quickly before I move on, I mean, there's been some standout performances, and you mentioned a few players there, but I think none more so than obviously, the main signing of the season, if you like, the forward that had been missing for so long in Gabriel Jesus. I mean, he is just, talk about a transformative signing. I mean, just give us your quick thoughts on him, really, because I think, and I said this on Sunday on the show that I did with the other Ryan. He's the other Ryan this time, right?
There you go.
But Nigel Winterburn, when I listened back and watched the highlights, it stole my thunder because he said that he reminded him of Ian Wright, the way he plays and the way he gets into the box and onto the end of things and battles. And I really agree with that because I actually said that to my sons when we were in the ground, that he reminds me of a really skillful Ian Wright in the box. I mean, what's your thoughts about him overall?
I mean, his movement's just absolutely electric, isn't it? One thing that really stood out to me was, I can't remember if it's his first or second goal, you have to excuse me, but where Martinelli took the ball from outside the area and crossed it in.
Yeah, beautiful.
If that was last season, I just don't think Lacazette would be anywhere near that.
No.
But and in the back of my mind, that's what I was expecting, just a ball into the box, just to either go out for a goal kick or the goalie to go and, gobble it up. But
yeah,
to see somebody actually on the end of it and so devastating, almost took me by surprise. And yeah, like I say, he just looks so hungry. He just, like I say, his movement's electric, but he's just absolutely everywhere, isn't he? And especially in the box, he's such a deadly finisher. It's so refreshing to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. And coming on to you now, Melvin. I mean, moving on from that, I can see. I don't know about you because I know you were there as well on Saturday. I can see a real good partnership and almost like early stages, clearly, of course, but I can see a really promising partnership developing between Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli, and they're obviously going to be spurring each other on, in the run up to the World Cup as well. That goes without saying. But yeah, I noticed that. I don't know what you thought during the match. You could see that kind of really good partnership building up and sort of an understanding between the two of them.
I saw it in the Chelsea game as well. I wasn't at that game, obviously, but I saw it in the Chelsea game as well. There's interchange with them. They're both not similar, but they've got similar qualities. They're quick, they're direct, they've got a great football brain, the pair of them, and they seem to have built up a partnership very, very quickly. I mean, you can have Martinelli moving inside and Jesus moving outside. But I was right behind Martinelli when he hit that pass through to Jesus for his second goal. It was a phenomenal pass. I know everyone's going, "Oh, we scored a goal. Good, lovely." It was a good goal. Took it well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think Lacazette would have been on the halfway line. I think, but he was there and he put it in beautifully, absolutely. But that ball, he just bent it with so much venom.
Yeah.
And we haven't got a focal point like a big number 9, and I think that's sometimes a good thing. Sometimes you need it, but sometimes because they don't know who to mark now, they can't double up on anybody now. They used to double up on Martinelli. If they do that, Zeus going to have a field day, isn't he? They're going to double up on Saka. Then the others are going to have field days. It's now looking quite promising going forward. I don't know what a damper on it, but I will. I'm very happy. Don't get me wrong. Even before the game, I said to my son, I said, "You know what? This is the most excited I've been for years in the pre-season." Really, it was like a carnival, wasn't it? Even before kickoff.
Yeah.
But we still do need a quality, hard defensive midfielder who doesn't necessarily can play football, but can stop the other team from playing. Because once you've got someone like that, then the rest of the team can even play with more freedom. But it was fantastic. You're sitting there and watching that game again. This is it. This is why you come to watch football. Fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. That's why especially obviously the away fans, seeing you've only come to see the Arsenal every time when we get a performance like that. It's just that's one of those sorts of performances, even though it is at home. But yeah, I mean, what you can add obviously onto that, Ryan, about your thoughts about general pre-season and Jesus, but also the other guy that we've got, which the biggest cliche of all time, but like a new signing himself in Saliba, and the sort of, I don't know, it's just beautiful to watch him play. It's like it's almost you get too carried away with him already, even though he's not made a proper appearance for us yet, apart from the pre-season. But he looks like he's going to be amazing, doesn't he, as well?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much Ray and Melvin kind of hit the nail on the head with all the Jesus talk. And an interesting thing that Melvin said, which I couldn't agree more, was sometimes we need a direct point of contact, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we could just kind of free flow, play the sides, overload zones on the left, mainly on the left, sometimes on the right. But sometimes we need that man. We need that man that's at the very, very top, inside the 18, to be I don't want to say a target man, but in certain ways, yeah, like a target man. And I think Gabriel Jesus brings that in spades. And when you look back to last season and you look at Lacazette, in my opinion, I feel like he definitely turned the page for us in that season. And when we started playing well, he really stepped his game up. He took the armband from Aubameyang, and he kind of really led this team with a relatively good charge. But his problem was he couldn't be that center. He couldn't be that jewel in our crown. He couldn't be the superstar that we needed to be. He was just being that team player, getting the guys the ball, getting stuck in, and doing what he had to do. And don't get me wrong, he's also a great leader off the field as well. On the field, I thought he was a good captain for us in the 6 months he was. But the thing that Jesus brings to us that Lacazette doesn't is just, yeah, he can be that superstar. I know he said in multiple interviews, he doesn't want to be a superstar. He just wants to learn. He really wants to, teach these guys a thing or two, learn more, and really support the project as best he can. But the fact that he can turn it on to superstar qualities and really score goals for us, I think is going to definitely help us out in the long run. And, you know, when you look at the other side of the coin, you look at William Saliba, a new signing. I'll take it as a new signing. Yeah, I love the way he plays with no fear. You know, when you go to a new team and you're trying to integrate and you're trying to synergize, build chemistry with all the players, you know, there's a little bit of a fitting in. There's a little bit of like, okay, I don't want to fuck up. He don't care. He's turning balls. He's turning forwards around left and right. I was at the game in Baltimore when we played Everton. He was just dribbling around Calvert-Lewin for fun, and he had no concern over no one being behind him. You know, if he lost the ball, they're going in on goal, and they have a one-on-one with the keeper. So that's going to scare me, I think, when the season comes, because I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not, but I don't see Saliba getting away with those dribbles and those balls 100% of the time. Granted, will he be more safe? Probably. But you know, just the way he handles the ball is just it's magnificent. But I also do feel that it could get us in trouble. But hopefully, you know, he's a little more safer, and you know, we can kind of play more like a team and kind of facilitate the ball, you know, and just
yeah. But going on to that, I mean, you can't ignore the fact that he had such a good season last season in the Ligue 1. Not as strong, obviously, as the Premier League, but he's now a firm favourite within the France squad as well. You know, so hopefully he knows that he can't get away with that sort of thing. You know, in the more bigger matches, shall we say?
I think I think I'm thinking about it more because we have Granit Xhaka, we had David Luiz, who do those things. So now that he's like in our squad, it's like I know he never played with David Luiz, but it's like I don't know, like I just get apprehensive, and I clutch the chair in front of me the few times he did it at the Everton match, and yeah, thanks.
Party pooper.
But it's funny. I really am excited. I'm excited also too. Like, yes, I'm excited for Saliba, but I'm also more excited to see that we're kind of using Ben White as a right back. We're using him as a center back. He can do so many things for us, and that is gonna, you know, unlock a lot for us, because, you know, Tomiyasu is he's still not fit. I don't know if he'll even make the bench on Friday, but it's good to have, like, okay, like we're gonna play Ben White right back, not like, oh fuck, we're playing Cedric. You know, that was always the thing. Like, no one wants to see Cedric right back. But now that we have like the ability to put Ben White there and be like, okay, cool, that also allows Zinchenko to bomb up the left side. Xhaka can kind of do what he wants, and I'm sure we'll get to Xhaka, maybe not, but you know, he's had a really good preseason, and he's one who's never on my good list. But yeah, he's having a good preseason too, and I think all the pieces that we have and all the signings that we've brought in, I think, allow that. You know, he might be the worst player in the pitch for us, you know, every game, but he's still putting in a performance. He's still playing really well, and he's still that, you know, senior. I can't believe I'm giving Xhaka so many compliments right now.
I know, yeah, absolutely.
But you know, he's going to give us a lot of leadership on the pitch. I know he's the captain, but he's going to give that seniority, you know, leadership quality that, you know, we do need, because I think we might have even gotten younger this season. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops. Who knows, he might even be our left eight come halfway through the season.
Yeah, you never know. Well, yeah, I have to agree. He's been really good again pre-season, on the back of his two best seasons at Arsenal, I believe. Anyway,
yeah,
Xhaka. But to be part of the squad, I've got to the stage where I don't even think about him leaving, which is good. I'm not saying that he's like should be nailed on first starter for the rest of the season, but I'm not so fussed about him leaving anymore, which is the best thing I could say about him, because I think he's been really positive, to be honest. But we have to move on, Ray, to the next signing, which has been Zinchenko, and we can't overlook him either. I think he's going to be an absolutely fabulous player. Yeah. And what I saw on Saturday, because I was up in the upper tier West Stand, so I had a really good view down on the pitch. And for the most of the game, you have to say he was playing as a central midfielder. And we moved to a back three, which is absolutely amazing, which is what we can do so beautifully now with White, Gabriel and Saliba. I mean, I can't think of much of a stronger back three, really, the way things are going. Touch wood. that it carries on that way. But the way that he can change the game, Zinchenko, by moving from a 3 to a back 4 within the game seamlessly, he's going to be a game changer as well in just the same sort of way as Jesus. He's not going to get the headlines by any stretch of the imagination, but I think for the way, the style of play, I think he's going to be absolutely fantastic, personally.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I was sat on the halfway line, but sort of lower tier. So in the first half, Zinchenko was attacking my side, or on my side, should I say. And yeah, what you guys said, especially about Saliba and how, we've had players in the past that have not been composed. Zinchenko and, Saliba to some degree as well, just showed absolute phenomenal composure. So comfortable on the ball, and Zinchenko's got the quality as well. He can get up and down. I don't think we were tested really defensively, so I don't know how good he is, with that. But as you guys just mentioned, with Xhaka as well, if Zinchenko pushes up, Xhaka can drop back and fill in that space. And I've never been a Xhaka fan, but we are playing a system that suits him. And Zinchenko is one of those parts in that system that allows, our players to actually look half decent, and especially with Zinchenko, like I say, he can get up, he can get down, and he's got that killer pass. He's got a lot of assists. I can't remember exactly how many he got playing for City, but certainly he was an important player for them, wasn't he?
Yeah,
and, he had an impact in that final game when they.
Yeah, he did. I don't think they would have won the league without him.
No. So it's not to be underestimated, and I think that Kieran Tierney is probably my first choice if he's fully fit, but certainly he's got to, be absolutely on top form to keep Zinchenko out of the team, because he will take his place, and obviously that would just make us a stronger team, wouldn't it?
I don't think he'll miss out a game. Personally, I really don't, Zinchenko. I think when Tierney is fit and firing, I think that he'll play, and I think Xhaka will be the one to drop to the bench, which is not, it's certainly not a bad thing. I think Zinchenko plays. I've said this. Sorry, I keep repeating myself. Everyone listens, but he plays in all the places that Xhaka plays on the pitch. So it just makes sense to me that he will just, as soon as Tierney's back and at his best, that he'll just move up a bit, and Xhaka will be the one to sort of drop to the bench. But that's good, because to have a Xhaka to come off the bench in times of need is a good
brilliant squad player, isn't he?
It's a great substitute to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be at all fussed
and I'm
about
a lot
that.
more comfortable with Xhaka coming on with 20 minutes to go, because there's less chance of him getting carded.
Exactly.
What's fine? He can get a yellow. Bring him out with 20 minutes left.
Yeah,
he'll rugby tackle someone. That's fine. Which we need. Take a yellow. That's fine.
Fouls, isn't it? Not 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes into a game and then tightrope. Just so I think Zinchenko just looks so comfortable and composed, and like I say, as you mentioned there, if he can play in midfield as well as at left back, it's just going to give us so many more options, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Also,
we've already got the stronger bench, and don't forget, up until now, we haven't had Smith Rowe, Tierney, Tomiyasu, or we haven't seen Vieira yet, which is another really exciting one. I can't wait to see. We've got 4 players there who have not been playing. A lot of people have said that the team that played on Saturday is going to be the starting lineup for Crystal Palace, which I can't really argue with whatsoever. So then you've got another 4 players that to come on and strengthen the bench even further than what we've got at the moment. It's only looking good at the moment. And that's before we've even made another signing or 2.
And this is going to be the season of subs, isn't it? With 5 subs. We're going to need as many options as we can. And another thing with Zinchenko is that he's not going to the World Cup either, which means he will get that rest. He won't be as burnt out as Tierney, some of our other players. Neither Tierney, which is ideal, isn't it? It's music to our ears.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be a really good piece of the puzzle. I don't think he's going to be the main piece. And as you say, I think he will be a bit of a utility player, but certainly what a hell of a player he's going to be. Just so comfortable.
See, yeah. Really, really, really exciting player. For me to come in, like I say, he's not the sort of player that's going to get headlines week in, week out. But I think for this Arteta team, I think he's just, if you went and designed a player for this Arteta team on a computer, I think it would look like Zinchenko, to be perfectly honest, the way he can play, and he's adaptable, and he can play in so many different positions. And before we move on from him, I just loved that little clip that went around. I think it was after the Chelsea game. He was walking off the pitch. Don't know if you guys saw it. And he just looked to the camera and he said, what a club. I love this club already. And that was just after his first short debut appearance pre-season in America. It was fantastic. I love seeing that. But I want to come to you on this different sort of slightly different subject, Melvin, and that is just how these two signings in the City lads that have come in seem to, I think they'll lift the level of the players around them as well. We've already talked about the relationship building between Martinelli and Jesus, but you've also got Saka on the other side. And Eddie, I think Eddie as well has had a very, very good pre-season, low key, but he scored a lot of goals from pre-season, and I think he is going to be lifting his level further because of Jesus being in the club as well. I'm quite excited to see what Eddie's got to come this season. What about you?
I think it's very important when a couple of new players join a club, they can lift other players in the dressing room, which these two obviously can do because of their experience and their what they've won. But also, I think it's more important, obviously, on the pitch, and just to see the way these two guys play. You got to remember when the boys play into spaces now, you've got Jesus running towards the ball, not running away from the ball. I mean, and when the ball's coming into the box, he's alert, which we haven't had for a couple of years. We had two forwards, Aubameyang, ever good as he was, and Lacazette. They waited for the ball to come to them. They would not move. They're like a tree until the ball hits them, then they're off. Well, you don't get that chance in the Premiership that often. So those two signings are great. I mean, before the game, I went in a bit early and I saw Zinchenko, all of the players actually having shots, and I was on the side. And I could not, when he was kicking the ball into the net from outside, from just on the edge of the box, when he hit it, I could not see the ball. It was going that fast. He's got a sweet left foot. And which makes players good is sometimes if the player's got a lot of time on the ball, that shows a bit of class, which he has done. But more importantly, when he's got the ball, his brain seems to tell him he's got 3 or 4 options. You get players sometimes, they've got one option. If that's suddenly blocked for whatever reason, they panic. You don't seem to get that with him. He's always got a route B and a route C, which makes it so much easier for the rest of the team. And they will bring players into the game, these two, because with Man City, that was all their game, wasn't it? Give and go, make space, turn, give it, and just keep the play going the whole time. And they know it, and they will make players better. When it comes to Eddie, I've never been a fan of Eddie's, but the end of the last season, there was a change. I don't know why there was a change. Change somehow. He seemed to leapfrog Lacazette, in my opinion, which I never thought I'd see. He leapfrogged him, and in pre-season he's done well as well. And I think that with Jesus, he will have the confidence to think, I'm playing with Jesus now. I may not be on the pitch with him the whole time, but I'll learn things. I've got someone to look at. It's a similar type of player as far as energy goes, because Eddie has got loads of energy. I never faulted him for his energy or for his try. I thought he made bad decisions sometimes, but that seems to have gone out now. He seems to have improved, and his ceiling has risen. Now,
definitely,
Now he's made a new ceiling for himself. He's got to hit it every week now, not go back to the old. And once we've got ourselves, might have got ourselves a player.
Yeah, and I really agree with that. And I think that if you're in a club and a better player comes in, you don't want to look stupid in front of that player on the training pitch. Especially I remember when Bergkamp joined and everyone was just pinging the ball to him, and they're doing it on purpose, really hard from a short distance, and he still killed it dead. And it just raised everyone's level. And no one, when they were doing these rondos and doing all the training, wanted to look stupid in front of Dennis Bergkamp, who had just come into the squad. And I think the same can be said with Jesus now he's come into the team. And I genuinely think that Eddie's, obviously he's nowhere near his level yet, but I think he will really aspire to become like him, and it'll rub off. And especially the work ethic that he's got as well. He never stops running. His pressing was just fantastic. I mean, that goal where the goalkeeper passed it out, this terrible bit of goalkeeping, he passed it straight to Saka and he scored. But that all came from 5 players in their last sort of final third, pressing every single ball, and it made the goalkeeper make that error.
And it's pre-season as well, isn't it? You know, we haven't really seen our players hunting down the ball and putting those efforts in, you know, in a glorified, you know, friendly match or whatnot. You know, it's incredible to see.
It's beautiful to see, honestly. It really, really was. I absolutely loved seeing that, and that's going to be really, rubbing off on all the other players around them. I mean, I don't know if you've got anything to add on to that, Ryan, before we sort of move on to another topic. But yeah, it's just lovely. Don't you agree that it's going to rub off on all the other players?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I don't even know if it's really adding to it, but Eddie is. I don't know if I can't think of. I don't know if any of you guys can. I can't think of somebody that's completely just up their game so dramatically, so quickly. And I'm not even talking an Arsenal player. I'm just any player. It's you know, even when he was scoring goals for us late last season, and you know he kind of put Lacazette on the bench, which I agreed with, and I do think, you know, Eddie said it in an interview, funny enough, before he got the starts, just give me a chance. You know, I can't do anything if I'm on the bench. So we gave him a few chances, and you know, he scored. He scored a lot of goals for us. But I still at the end of the season was like, hey, yeah, like you did good, but you got us more money. Like I was still like on the Balogun train. I was like, listen, I think Balogun will come good in a couple seasons. I think we'll bring in a Jesus and bring in, you know, another striker that can kind of just fill the backup striker roles. And I just didn't think. I thought Eddie was not an Arsenal player. I don't think he's good enough for Arsenal, but I think he was a good enough Premier League player. Like he could do wonders at Brighton. He could play well at Bournemouth or Fulham. You know, kind of in the bottom of the league. And I think he could play well. But this preseason, every game I've seen us play, I'm always like, oh, Eddie, like what? Like yeah, Jesus is great. Yes, Zinchenko, like all these players are great. Don't get me wrong, but I'm always going, holy shit, Eddie, that's Eddie Nketiah. Like what are we doing? Like that's it. I can't believe it. Yeah, I like literally can't believe it's Eddie. And you could say like, oh, everyone around him is making him better. He was muscling people off the ball against Everton. He finds himself in better spaces. He gets himself open more, and he's willing to take chances from outside the 6-yard box. You know,
back to goal. He's been great as well.
Exactly. So you know, you could say, like, oh, well, you know, the team around him is better. I don't know. I don't think so. And I think what's also good too is he could play in a 2 with Jesus. He could come off the left. He could play in a 2. And you know, let's face it. Let's be real here. We're not going to be up every game. We're going to be down 1-0. We're going to be down, you know, a goal or 2, and we're going to need to play. We're going to need to play Eddie and Jesus, and I think they played so well together when they had their opportunities, and that's something that I love to see, especially when you have someone who just re-signed Eddie Nketiah, and you know he's still willing to, you know, obviously he re-signed, so he still wants to be here, but he's willing to, you know, I don't want to say play second fiddle, but he's willing to share the opportunities, you know, with Gabriel Jesus, and I think it's gonna show, you know, their connection as teammates, because you know we talk about Martinelli and Jesus. I think Eddie and Jesus are gonna be interesting to see, you know, last 10-15 minutes of games where we need a goal.
Yeah, one thing I disagree with is that we're going to be behind this season. I can't see that at all. Right. We're going to win every game. Clearly going to win every game and go undefeated again. But yeah, that's the only thing I disagree with. But I mean, just moving on just quickly, just won't spend too long on it, but Ødegaard being named the new captain was the worst kept secret going. But everyone happy with that? About Ray? I mean, I think he's nailed on.
Perfect
I think
choice.
he's nailed on to me.
Yeah, perfect choice. I know, obviously, some people like centre backs and that being captains, but no, I think Ødegaard is in the centre of the pitch. He's in and around, the referee, which I always kind of like as for a captain. But he's the guy that sets our attacking tempo. You can see he sets the levels. When he signed last summer, he was the guy that was pressing all the time and really intense with his run-ins. So yeah, I think he's a really good choice, and it'll be interesting to see this documentary because I think it will shed a lot of light on Martin Ødegaard. And at the moment, we're just sort of speculating on what we can see from his performances, but I'm sure it will shine a light on the stuff he does off the pitch, and I think we'll have a better understanding of why he is captain.
Yeah, he's the first one that gets called over by Mikel Arteta every single time there's a break in play. One of the opposition goes down, or one of our players goes down injured. He calls him over straight away, gives him all the advice, and talks to him. And he's his little manager on the pitch, isn't he? Basically, both Melvin, Ryan. You got anything else to add on? Have you got anything to add on Ødegaard being named captain?
It's a fair choice. I mean, there wasn't a lot of others really that you can. Any other person you could choose, you say, no, I'm not going to have that because of X, Y, Z. The language barrier, too young. Like Tierney, for example, doesn't play enough. You can have an excuse for any other person, and so I think he's the only candidate, in my opinion, that you can't have any excuses why he shouldn't be captain. What I want to see from him is when we have got our backs to the wall, which every team happened, and it happened more than once this season. Believe me, we all know it well. I want to know who's the captain on the field that day. I don't want to just getting lucky, tossing up a coin. It's more than that. And if he's got the managers up here, that's fine as well. But I want to see it on the pitch. He got us out of trouble with West Ham a couple of years ago. That was a captain's performance.
That was brilliant. That was when we were 3-0 down.
I want to see more of that from him when we are a bit what they call under the cosh. And I want to see him shaking that fist, going, "Come on, boys, let's go, we can do this." I want to see a bit of that because that's what a captain should do. And it's very important, especially in a team like ours, where we're a young team, and he's a young fella himself, but if he's got it in him, he can really push those young kids. That can be good. So you can do it. Football-wise, no problem, but I don't need a captain to get on well with a manager, but not do it on the pitch as far as a captain goes. Because if he's not captain, he'll still play the same way. But I want to see that little bit of extra that matters. I mean, I'm old enough to have seen some fabulous Arsenal captains in the past. You couldn't believe it. And,
Mr. Chumley Warner in the 30s with his long shorts on.
Yeah.
Remember that, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I couldn't go. I was a bit too old to go to those games, but yeah.
No, but I mean, he also scored my favourite goal of pre-season, Martin Ødegaard. I think it was Chelsea, wasn't it? That he sort of took it, some really quick feet, and just finished it straight away in the far corner. Absolutely beautiful goal that was. I want to see more of that myself this season as well. Taking a few more opportunities, having a few more shots.
I think his shooting was a bit off last year. I think he seemed to panic a couple of times. He was in decent positions. I just got a strip at the end of the season where he pushed it into the goal. That was a beautiful goal.
Oh, that was beautiful. Yeah, that was a lovely goal. But yeah, that one against Chelsea, I love that goal. It was absolutely beautiful to watch.
I want to see more of that from outside the box.
Yeah, he's got it well within him.
I just hope he's the player that's going to finally break this captain's curse,
Yeah.
Since Herrera.
What curse? What are we talking about? No curse, no curse.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, no, I desperately want that to happen, because I want him to stay with us for many, many years to come. Let's move on. Sorry, go on. Finish what you're going to say.
I was going to say, just to be a solid player, be there pretty much every game, not get injured and just lead the team, just as Melvin said, but just set the tempo, and just really give it everything when he's on the pitch. That's all I really want to see.
Yeah, I honestly think it's going to be one of those players, because it can go one or two ways, really, can't it? When you give someone the captaincy, that it can weigh heavy on their shoulders, or that it can inspire them to go on to do even more. I can only see the latter with him. I just think he's got that right kind of temperament, personally. So we just have to wait and see. But I think it's a great choice. But let's move on to something different now, Ryan, and the transfer outs to start off with. We're finally starting to make some headway with a few players going out. Obviously, Leno's very close now, finally, after a bit of a saga, to move to Fulham. Balogun has got his loan, which is an interesting one, I thought. He's gone to Reims in for the season. And Tavares also gone to France. And I believe Reims are playing Marseille in the first game of the season in Ligue 1. So it's going to be Tavares versus Balogun, which would be interesting. An interesting one as well, not a big name obviously, but Okonkwo has gone on loan to Crewe, which I thought he was going to be sticking around to be our third choice. I thought it was more likely going to be Karl Hein be our third choice goalkeeper. But potentially at the moment, as it stands, we've got Alex Runarsson, going to be our third choice goalkeeper. And funnily enough, don't take this the wrong way, I'm not saying his Arsenal career could be mended or anything like that. He's dead in the water. But I watched him for about the first 2 or 3 minutes when the goalkeepers came out. Well, maybe a bit more. He's actually, they were doing the goalkeeper training and all that. And he actually looked half decent, I have to admit. And that was on Saturday. I thought he actually did quite well. But don't get me wrong, his Arsenal career is dead. But I think at the moment, he's our third choice goalkeeper unless we can find a home for him as well. And it finally looks like Pablo Mari again, after being linked with all the clubs under the sun, might have got his move back to Italy as well. But this is what we need now, isn't it, Brian? Because I don't believe, before we go on to like players that we're looking to buy, I think we've got to a stage now, especially with Tielemans, because there's nothing really happening. We're a bit of a stalemate there. I believe we have to sell now to bring people in. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I think that's the stage we're at.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, these last 3 seasons, I've always banged the drum of I'm more excited for us to sell players than to buy them or terminate their contracts, however we do it. But yeah, I mean, I think, and Edu did say in his interview recently, this is kind of the end of us just like getting rid of players because now we kind of raise the level with the talent we have in our squad, But yeah, I think hopefully Mari, I forget the team in Serie A, but he's joining a team in Serie A. Torreira is looking like he's joining Galatasaray.
Torreira, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't really know how you guys feel about Torreira, but I also don't want to say I told you so to all the people out there that like, oh, Torreira can be our 6. Torreira can be our 6. Look at Torreira. But like, seriously, I don't know. He's almost turning into a Xhaka for me. It's just the way he the unprofessionalism that he showed into leaving us. Yeah. I'm just like, bye, see you later.
Yeah.
And we're still gonna get $7.5 million, which isn't terrible. Just considering did he even play a minute in our preseason? I don't think he did. I know he left the USA tour early.
He had a good season last year, didn't he? In Fiorentina, he got 3 Player of the Month.
Because he wanted to be there. He didn't want to be here. So
yeah, but I mean, no. The reason I mentioned that is because of the fee. I know he's only got a year left in his contract, but I mean, it's still a pitiful fee, isn't it?
It's just strange there's no Italian teams after him. And he's
there was. I think it was he had a choice he had a choice between Galatasaray and another Italian Serie A team. I don't remember the name escaping me.
But they must really
and he chose Galatasaray because they
must really be struggling because if Galatasaray can pay $7 million, but a mid-table Serie A team can't. I just don't really understand it.
Well, I heard they both paid the same fee. It's just why Torreira chose Galatasaray is because Galatasaray is paying him more. That's it.
Right.
They're paying him more in wages.
Well, in which case he was homesick for Italy, wasn't he? That's the reason.
This is
and now he's going to Turkey.
Yeah,
exactly. It's just ridiculous, mate.
And I have said this too. I do believe that him being teased, on the training pitch, behind closed doors, off the pitch. I think that also had a big, it was a big moment for him, and it kind of like really turned the wrong way with the club. Granted, like
What were they doing? Calling him Stuart Little or something?
Well, no, I guess I didn't say on this podcast, but like there are rumors, and I've heard it from multiple people that you know, the little posse of Kolasinac, Ozil, Mustafi would just tease him on end. They would call him, I don't know if they called him midget, but you know, they'd make fun of his height. And then I think it was after one of the training sessions, they bought him like a baby Arsenal kit, and they gave it to him as like a joke. And apparently, like, he was laughing, like, "Oh, that's real funny," but like you could tell, like he wasn't happy. Which you're playing for a professional club. You can only be teased so much before you're like, "All right, guys, like, relax, like, I get it." It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, those players are gone, so it's like, all right, well, now what? So I did think there was, a chance for him to kind of turn things around, but yeah, I don't think he likes it in England. But you know what? I'll never forget my last game at the Blind Pig, which is a New York City Arsenal bar. It has since closed down. It was their last game that they were showing before they closed down. I think we were playing Huddersfield, and he scored the one goal. And the whole time, he scored it, I think, pretty early on in the match, if I do remember. The whole match, we were just chanting the Torreira song, and then the whole way back to the train station, we were chanting Torreira song. So don't get me wrong, he's gave me good memories, and we scored against Tottenham and took his shirt off, But it's like, you know what? I can't. We're at a stage in our club's career where it's like, all right, like, just get out of here. We'll take whatever we can. I didn't want to talk about Torreira for that long, but yeah, we did. So that, and then I'll be honest, I'm upset. I'm upset that we're getting rid of Leno. It's needed. We need the money. I get it. He's going to be backup. He doesn't want to be backup. Qatar around the corner. And I know he really wants to play for Germany and make an impression because, Neuer is getting old. He's getting up there. So is Ter Stegen. I love him. I love Leno. I think he is one of, if not the best shot stopping keeper in the league. So yeah, I'm upset. I want him part of the club, and it just sucks that the one thing he's really bad at as a keeper is something that Arteta is obsessed with, and distribution. Granted, Leno's distribution is very, very, very bad. I get it. So I'm not saying he should start over Ramsdale, but yeah, and he's German, so obviously I have a liking to him. So that's going to be upsetting, but it's good. It's good that these players are finally I guess minus Leno, they're kind of getting out because yeah, like I said, we're gonna raise the level of the club and we're gonna raise the competition between players, and that'll only help us in the long run because these players will A, get better, or B, just give us a really nice profit, and we'll actually get some money for these signings. So it's always good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, obviously everyone would love to Leno to stay around. I mean, that's how a professional acts, like Leno has acted. Throughout this entire period of him not playing. Has he kicked off once? Has he done any stupid Instagram messages? No, he's just got on with it, and he's not moaned, and he'll go with everyone's best wishes. And Torreira, on the other side, I think he's ruined any kind of goodwill that he's had with a lot of Arsenal fans.
I'll go a step further. I think Torreira's professionalism is worse than Guendouzi's. I'll go a step further. I'll go there. Because at least with Guendouzi, it's like...
You know what, Ryan? You're dead right. I agree with you. Absolutely.
It's a shame because he was that player that I think we all could have kind of like. I don't know.
We all liked him. We all had a lot of love for Torreira, but he's just all that goodwill is gone. Yeah. He's just acted like a petulant child, isn't he?
He did the same as Ozil. In fact, worse. He wasn't going to play for us anymore. Ozil was on the bench and not played because of his attitude. This guy didn't want to play for us anyway. So I think in some respects, I'm not bigging Ozil up because not the way he performed at the end. I'm just saying this geezer, in my opinion, is worse. He basically went on strike. He should have lived in it. He should have stayed in the UK because we love strikes.
I can't wait till we eventually, I'm sorry, Andrew, but eventually, drop some points, and I can't wait for Torreira to tweet "trust the process" with the heartbreaking emoji.
Oh yeah.
That's common. Well, it'll probably be in Spanish, but whatever.
He's going to have to wait a long time, mate, because we ain't going to be losing a game. But let's move on now to Friday, basically, pretty much on the eve of starting the league again. And Hey presto, we are the first up on the Friday evening away from home in London again at one of our bogey teams, but it's going to hopefully look a lot different this time. So you had your hand up there, Melvin. Did you want
Can
to
I
say
start
something?
off because I want to go soon? Sorry.
Yes, of course, mate.
Sorry. So, go on, what was the question? What do we think about Friday?
Yes, let's have a talk about the game on Friday. How you see it going? What the lineup's going to be?
The lineup, I think, we should be obviously all things being equal, will be the same. I think I think we are a bit stronger physically than we were last season. Because a lot of our youngsters are another year older, where they're mature, their bodies. Look at Martinelli, for example. He has been.
Yeah, he looks big.
You can tell that on Saturday, Andy, when you saw him. He's holding
Yeah,
the ball
100%.
up now. He's stronger with his shoulders, and his top level weight is better. So I think we can handle that, and I think what's going to be good is they're a very big team, Palace, and we won't be putting crosses in every 2 minutes in the air where they just gobble them up and say thank you very much. Let's try that again. No, we'll be playing it on the deck, fast football on the deck, direct. Don't give them a chance to assemble like they do. Let's get in position like we did the last couple of years with these teams when they defended against us. We'll hit them quickly. They'll have to look over their shoulder, what's going on, what's behind us. I think if we can play the same way, forget about, we will show respect to every team we play, but we must play our own game. If we don't worry about them, we play our own game. I think we should be all right. Last night I gave a prediction of 2-0 to us. I'm still going 2-0. Nothing's changed. Why should it? And I think nothing's certain, obviously, but this is every game now seems like cup final, and that's the first game of the season. But it seems like Friday,
already, we're at that stage already.
I'll tell you why, Andrew, because for the first time in 10 years, mine, probably yours as well, the boys here and people watching, our expectations have gone up. We've got more to lose.
Yeah.
I remember we played Chelsea a couple of years ago, and we were poor before the game. And we really had a good game. It's the one where Leno, strangely enough, made a bad mistake for the equaliser. They beat us 2-1. I think they had a penalty or something. It's like the Arsenal-Man City game. We played very well, went 1-0 up and got beaten. And for the first time, when we were 1-0 up, for the first time for a year or two, watching an Arsenal game, I was nervous because I had something to defend, because I could see something. And I thought, my God, we've actually got a chance of beating a top team here. Now I'm nervous. When we play these teams, after 5 minutes, the game was over anyway. But this was a different thought. What's happened with Man City at home this year? We were so unlucky. I was so nervous. I loved the first half, most of it anyway. And I think we're at that point now where our expectations have gone up a notch. We've got further to fall mentally. So that's why it's so important. And let's hopefully be totally different to last year when we kicked off in London on a Friday night away from home. Let's hope it's totally different. I think it will be. There's much more to, there's more positives I can see in the team. Listen, we'll have a full strength team for a start against Brentford in a very full strength team. So I think there's lots of positives. Let's don't even put one game with the other, parallels. Forget that. It's this game. Let's go for it. Play the Arsenal way, the way we've been playing the last month or so, and it should be all right.
Yeah. No, not a lot I could disagree with at all there, if anything. But yeah, you need to get off then. Melvin, thanks ever so much.
Nice to meet you, Ryan. Well, and Ray, lovely to see you again and speak soon.
Keep on, you, mate.
Take care, Melvin. Speak to you soon, mate. Bye-bye.
Okay. Cheers, mate. Bye.
So yeah, same question to you then, Ray. Thoughts really about the Crystal Palace game? I mean, we mentioned earlier about the 4 players that are back in full training. They could hopefully even be on the bench as well. So how do you see it panning out? I love that. I love Gunnar Glenn's comment there. Sky want this upset. Let's spoil their party.
I have to agree with Gunnar Glenn there. I mean, I think we need to just 2 fingers Sky, basically.
Yeah.
I think we've still got scars from that game last season. Certainly that game, the Spurs game and the Newcastle game still haunts me a little bit if I think back to it. Yeah. So if we can go there and win, fantastic. I think that really does show that, not, that we're going to get top 4 or anything necessarily, but it really just shows a change in our mindset. And if we can win convincingly and put in a good performance, I think it will actually send a message to the rest of the league as well. yeah, that's what I just want to see. I just want to see us take the game to Palace. We know it's going to be horrible. We know their crowd's going to be up for it. We know it's, they're going to try and, use the tactics, and James MacArthur's probably going to kick people about and all of this. But we just need to stand up to it. And certainly with Gabriel and Saliba, if he plays at centre back now, I just feel like we'll have too much for him. And I just hope we can really sort of blow them away. But it is Arsenal, it is the Premier League, and I've said that before, and I've been wrong before. So let's hope that I'm not wrong this time.
Yeah, we could do with a statement win, really. And I know it's only against Palace, which is a stupid thing to say, really, because Palace are a very strong side now, and they've got an excellent home record last season. I think they only lost one game at home or something like that.
I remember Man City dropping points there in the title run. So
I think, do you know what? I think it was only Spurs that beat them at home. Yeah, but their home was Palace's home last season. So they had some great results, like you just said, Ray. Man City as well, and Liverpool. I think they drew to Liverpool, didn't they? So it's going to be tough, but if we can beat them away in the first game of the season, and not just beat them, but quite convincingly, 2 or 3-0, I mean, it really would put a statement down and shove everything up people's arses. That Gary's just put there on the screen. All the Arsenal haters, including football gods, want an Arsenal failure. Not on Friday, sorry. Come on, you Gunners, which is great. Yeah, how do you see it going, Ryan?
I really wish you didn't save me for last. Honestly, if you gave me, if I actually, before I came on the show, I looked at all the teams of the Premier League that are playing this season. Crystal Palace are the one team I do not want to play in the first game of the season because they're coached well in Vieira. They play very similar to us. They have a younger team, quick, talented team. They have, and it goes to what you were saying earlier. They've gone unbeaten their last 6 home games. And 5 of them, the last 5 were clean sheets. So I'm fucking petrified. Because if we were playing Man City, Liverpool, I'd be like, all right, cool. Like if we lose, it's fine. We don't have to play them. We only have to play them one more time. If we were playing a better team, but I don't know. Palace scared the shit out of me. I do think we're still going to come out and really give it to them. And I'm very excited to watch us play. Don't get me wrong, but Palace are just the one team I do not want to play. And we're playing at Sellers Park, which is never fun. But I still see us really gelling and really playing well together. And I think what's going to kind of put us over the edge on Friday is the fact that we took all senior players except for Walters. We took all senior players with us on the USA tour, and everyone talked, oh, where's Patino? And I'm one of those people. I was like, where's Patino? We don't need 5 keepers in America. I do believe we need Patino. But it's because we wanted to come prepared. We wanted to be prepared. Last year at Brentford, we were not prepared. Look what happened. And then we followed up with Man City, Chelsea after that. So he wanted to be prepared. He wanted to cross his T's, dot his I's. And I think we did that. And I think that is going to put us over the edge. The fact that, I do believe that our last 2 11s, you wish, Gary. Our last 2 seasons. I actually have O boxers, Gary. So, but by the way, if anyone doesn't understand what he's saying, he always says X for Xhaka and O for Ozil. So, because those are his 2 favorite players, right, Gary? But yeah, no, I'm nervous, but I think the fact that we really gelled together well in America and against Sevilla, and I think those are probably going to be our. I think Chelsea and Sevilla were the same 11s, I believe.
They were.
That's going to be our 11. I'm excited. I really, really, I think that watching our 11 play, yes, preseason, yes, Sevilla, yes, Chelsea, with mostly a veteran squad that Tuchel's trying to get rid of. Doesn't matter. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think Crystal Palace are going to give us more of a fight than people think. I think Eze, Zaha, Edouard are going to be a force. But I think if anyone's going to handle them, it's going to be Saliba. It's going to be Gabriel. It's going to be Ben White. So yeah, but I do believe both teams will score. So it'll be a nail biter.
I think what you said, Ryan, about being prepared is massive. Because if you think,
I think that's my big thing. Yeah.
12 months ago, we had a terrible preseason. We had injuries, whatever, blah, blah, blah. but we didn't have all our signings through the door. I think.
And 3 players got COVID. Like what? The day of Brentford, the day before.
Exactly,
whatever.
Exactly.
Didn't know.
So, 12 months ago, we were an absolute mess. This year, we've got our signings in early. We are playing well in pre-season, and we've actually got goal threats in the team now. And yeah, there's a lot to be positive. Like we've said, Palace and Selhurst Park can be a scary place to go, especially late at night or whatnot. But yeah, bring it on. I just think we just look in a good place, and maybe playing them first game of the season might actually be a good thing, because they haven't had, they might still just be sort of getting into the season and still trying to work their way into it. So I don't know what their pre-season results have been like. I don't really know. I can't think of any brand new signings they've got.
No, I was just going to say that as well. But I can't think of any major signings they've brought in.
Palace have been playing. I don't know if they have signing wise. I'm not sure about, but they have had a really good preseason too, which was like another thing. Although, granted, the level of competition isn't great. They haven't played the best of teams, but they're scoring goals. So
fair enough.
It's going to be interesting. Like I said, I do think we're going to get the job done. I do think we're going to get 3 points. But like I said, this is the one team one team I don't want to play, because they're kind of like us. They're gonna surprise teams. I believe Crystal Palace is going to compete for the to get into the Europa League conference. I do. I think they're going to finish like 8, 9, 10, maybe 7th. I think they'll be up there. I think they're going to be a very good team. Patrick Vieira knows what he's doing, and that's no bias, of course, no bias. He knows what he's doing. But yeah, I think they're a well coached team. I think they are a good team. I think Eze will get snatched up by Man City, Liverpool soon, or maybe, who knows, maybe us. I don't know. But Zaha's always good. They have a really good team. Their back line's a little suspect if you had to pick something, but I still think they're gonna be really putting teams away with their attacking threat. And who knows, maybe Jack Butland will finally come good for them. But it's gonna really see how well we prepared this preseason. And obviously all signs point to we prepared really well. But to be fair too, I think before the Brentford game, I think we were a little nervous, but we didn't think we would drop 3 points at Brentford. We're like, all right, like, yeah, COVID, things are happening, but like, not going to lose to Brentford. They just got promoted. Like, they were one of the weaker.
Yeah, well, I was one of the very, very, very few that was really worried about that game.
I mean, I was worried, but I was like, we're not.
Their first ever game in the Premier League, opening the Premier League season on the Friday night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree about the preparation, though. And the great thing was on Saturday, he treated it like a Premier League game regarding his subs, because I expected in one stage wholesale substitutions at half time, but he didn't make his first sub till 70 something minutes. I think.
Yeah.
Saka came off, and then the final couple he made in the final minute, and I felt really sorry for them actually.
He treated it like a league game, didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
It was a really good dress rehearsal, and that's something we need, because honestly, like, I don't care if Crystal Palace watches the Sevilla game and go, okay, they're going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and they're going to like literally game plan on that. That's fine, game plan. I think we're a good enough team to where we do the exact same thing we did against Sevilla, against Palace. And I still think we come up 3 points. I think they had a really easy time not worrying about Lacazette. Now you got to worry about Gabriel Jesus, who I think he scored the last 2 out of the last 3 times he's played at Selhurst Park. So I'm definitely excited.
Yeah, I'm really confident, I have to say, and that's not. I'm normally quite not pessimistic in the slightest. I'm a very, very optimistic fan, but I'm normally quite realistic more than anything else. But I genuinely am quite confident about this one. I think we have prepared really well in pre-season. We can alter the way we play throughout the game now. He has shown that regularly. Like I said before, changing from a back 3 to a back 4, for example, regularly throughout the game. The front 3 were changing, just changing their positions throughout the game as well. I don't know if you noticed that. Throughout the pre-season.
They're so fluid, aren't they? Up front?
Yeah, very, very fluid. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it gives me hope. And we've got a full strength midfield to choose from as well, which is really positive. I'm going to ask you 2 things, and I wanted to ask this for Melvin before he went, but I just completely forgot about it. But there's only two things that I want to sort of get your thoughts on for the new season ahead. Interesting ones. I want who you think will be our second top scorer. So I'm not going to allow Gabriel Jesus as our top scorer. Who do you think will be our second top scorer? And who do you think, in your opinion, will be our breakthrough player of the season as well? So I'll go to you first, Ray, and then obviously to you, Ryan, for both answers.
I think second top scorer, I think you've got to probably say Saka. He had the numbers last year, and he looks like he's on our pens as well. And yeah, I think Saka's going to have a really good season personally. I don't know what it is. Maybe just because he, like I said, I think he hit double figures in the Prem last year.
Yeah.
I think he'll get at least double figures again. And yeah, as we mentioned, in a front three where they can shift, I don't think he's just going to be playing solely from the right every game. I think he could even move within games. And I think he's just really dangerous, isn't he? When he gets the ball, you can see, even when he gets fouled, it's because the other team fear him. So I think Saka's going to have a really good season. So if I had to say second top scorer, I'd probably pick him.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Good. Okay, who will be your breakthrough player this year?
Breakthrough player.
It doesn't have to be like one of the youth players coming through. What I mean is like perhaps someone that has a much better season than anyone would have expected.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see Martinelli get his numbers up. I think Martinelli is good enough to play in the front three. I think he works exceptionally hard. And when he's not in the team, I know Smith Rowe comes in and can score goals. He was very good at that from the bench. But I think we just need to see more output from Martinelli, more goals, more assists. And yeah, I mean, if we're talking breakthrough in terms of numbers, I think possibly him.
Doesn't have to be numbers just for the record, but yeah, there's a good shout. It doesn't have to be numbers; just could be performances overall.
I mean, if he gets the chance, possibly Saliba, but that's if he gets the chance.
Yeah, no, good, both good answers. And you made me slightly doubt myself on one of my answers actually, with one of yours, but I'll come on to that in a second. So, do you need more time, Ryan, or?
How about all the obvious ones?
I think so. For me, second leading scorer. Now, if we're talking just Premier League, I'm picking Saka. I think that's. I don't.
I mean, all competitions.
I'm going to pick Eddie Nketiah then. I think Eddie Nketiah is going to destroy the Europa League and the Cup competition. I think he's going to score, and I think he's going to be a force. And I do believe, if he does come on in the Premier League, 5 minutes left, 10 minutes left, he'll score that goal. He'll score one or two, stoppage time goals. So yeah, I'm gonna go Eddie. I think Saka will compete, but I don't want to have the same answer, so I'm gonna say Eddie. And I before we get off, I want to talk about the Leno deal. Very interesting, the contract. But anyways, sorry, distracting. Stop it, Gary. Stop it. I would say the breakthrough player. I have a few people, and to me, it really depends on who we sell. I think I'm biased in saying this person, but I really, really, really want Reiss Nelson to have a good season because I think Arteta has put some trust back into him, and I think he could be the backup and on to Saka if we sell Pepe. And I like what I saw from Reiss Nelson in the preseason. I think he scored 2. I know he scored 1. I don't know if he scored a second goal, but I like his movement. He's quick. He's willing to dribble. I think when he surrounds himself with these players that we have, I think he's gonna raise his game up a bit. So I want to say Reiss Nelson, but in the fact we don't sell Pepe, I don't know. I think that there's so many. I don't know. I'm gonna say Ben White just because I feel like we're gonna use Ben White in more. I think we're gonna use Ben White as a right back. I think we're gonna use Ben White as a center back. And I don't mind using Ben White as a right back, and I like to see him kind of dribble up the pitch a little more and show us that the passing and his ball handling skills that kind of put the spotlight on him for Arteta and Edu, because that was one of the reasons we really wanted to buy him was because of his ball handling and his passing. So I think he'll be able to really show that more if he plays alongside Kieran Tierney, if he's right back, Kieran Tierney's left back. But yeah, we see.
Good. No, I totally agree with you about Reiss Nelson. never hidden my love for that kid as well.
Yeah,
I really hope.
Yeah, I like him. I just need to, with Reece Nelson, I just think we need to find out what position he actually is. You know, is he a winger? Is he like a fullback or a wing back?
I think he's back up to Saka. I think he's going to be back up for Saka.
Right.
But it's weird because he's played on the pitch with Pepe 2 different times. One time he was left wing, the other time he was right wing, and Pepe was left wing. So I'm interested to see how that pans out.
He started off on the left, didn't he? It's only quite recently that he switched to the right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be really interesting. I think it's still a real. He's still only 22.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and I think there's so much potential in him, and I think you made a great point with playing amongst the players that we've got now can only make him better. I really do believe that. So I think if we sold,
Pepe,
thank you. I would not be disappointed to keep him as a backup and put the money into the
midfield,
midfield.
Didn't he? Because when he first took
definitely.
over, I think he played him a lot. I remember him scoring in the FA Cup, possibly against Leeds.
Yeah, he
Reece
did.
Nelson.
Yeah, he did.
So he obviously does rate him, but it's just
and against Liverpool.
And against Liverpool, but can he just forge his way into the team? I hope he can.
Yeah.
And if
there's minutes there for him, I think.
Yeah,
well, certainly in Europa League, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So fingers crossed on that one. I mean, I was going to say the same as you for my answer for the second top scorer. I was going to say Eddie, exactly the same as you, Ryan. But then he threw a spanner in the works, Ray, when he said about Saka now being on pens. That's a very good point. So but I think I will still stick with Eddie because of what you said, Ryan, as well. Excuse me, about the cup games. Maybe Saka won't play all of those group games in the Europa League, and
I hope he doesn't.
Exactly, and the Carabao Cup and things like that. And I do think Eddie could score a hatful of goals in that group stage. So I think I will stick with Eddie. I think he's going to do really well. The breakthrough one, my one's a bit off the wall. I think Sambi's going to surprise a lot of people and play a lot more minutes this year.
Yeah, I want to say him, and that's something we could definitely discuss on a different show for sure. But the left 8 position has like my brain doing like mental gymnastics like every time I think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like talking about like the stars in the universe. It fucks with me because I don't know what we're gonna do. So I would love to see Sambi play that. I think Sambi would be perfect. I think if he does play it, then yes, I think Sambi is easily the breakthrough player.
People's written him off too early.
Yeah, I kind of want to see ESR play it though, because I want to see ESR get into the 11. So I think him playing his left 8 would be fucking fantastic too. So it's tough because we kind of brought Lokonga in to be Partey's replacement, and that's where Lokonga sees himself. So that's fine. He could do that. ESR could play the left 8, but if Lokonga's really taking this left 8, then yeah, I think he's got the world by the balls, and I think he's going to be a real player for us if he could take that left 8 position and make it his.
I think that long term he'll be a 6, and deeper. But I think now he's ideal to play that left 8 role.
He has the physicality to be a 6, in my opinion. So
not yet.
I think it takes a few years and experience to play that position. I mean, even Thomas Partey at 22 wasn't playing the role he's playing now.
He's only just grasped the role that Arteta wants him to play now. You know, after being at the club for 2 years. Mm-hmm. So, I totally agree with you, mate. I really do. And Gary said, I hope so, Andrew. Will Sambi play 8 or 6? We really need a 6, right? No, I don't think we do. I mean, numbers-wise, we've got enough. We've got enough there. I mean, we've got 4, technically, if you do include Sambi. We've got Partey, we've got Xhaka, we've got El Neni, who's been re-signed, and we have got Sambi there. But we need that left 8 more than anything. But we have got a lot of options there as well. Like you just said, Ryan, we have got Sambi, we have got Smith Rowe. I've said in previous shows, I'd love to see Smith Rowe getting a run there as well. I think he'd be great. We've obviously got Vieira, who we haven't seen yet, who potentially could play there.
Yeah.
So we have got the numbers. I mean, even if we don't sign anyone else, we'll be better than last season. But I do still hope we need another forward. Ideally, in my opinion, I think everyone's going on about we needing a wide forward. I think we could do with a centre forward. But we'll have to wait and see. And I do think we could do with the Tielemans just to really add that extra quality, because the more better players you have, the better, right? You're not going to turn down having great players. So let's hope so. And it can only do the club better by having this depth, and we have to stop this worrying about. But what if Tierney's not playing, or what if are they going to get upset?
Yeah,
we have to stop that mentality, don't we?
With the 5 subs, Andrew, I do think that we've got to really now factor that into our thoughts. Just because you don't start the game doesn't mean you can't come on and
absolutely
impact it. I mean, look at the women's game. The 2 goals were scored by substitutes. And they would have known at the start that they weren't starting, but they knew their role when they come on. And when they did, obviously, they executed it with, absolute precision, especially that lob goal. But, like I say, if Smith Rowe doesn't start every game, I wouldn't be too worried. As long as he's fit, I wouldn't be too worried because he can come on. He can make a difference. We know he can score goals from the left and through the middle. So, let's just hope he's fit and healthy and he gets his chances and he takes them.
Yeah, definitely. The very, very last thing, because I really, really need to go because I'm going to be late. But the really amazing stat that came out that I saw on the women's final was that our wonderful and amazing Leah Williamson didn't make one single tackle throughout the whole tournament, but she had the most interceptions, which is 100% Maldini-like. It's just quite incredible. It's an absolutely amazing stat. And that's how I see the way I've seen him so far, which is very, very early days. That's how I see Saliba. I think that he's not the sort of player that makes a lot of crunching tackles. He's always there at the right place at the right time, ready to mop the ball up and nick the ball off someone's toe or nip in front of them because of his pace and just clear the ball away. And but that stat was just, I wanted to have a drink and raise my glass to Leah Williamson when I heard that stat, because that's unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Absolutely fantastic class player. And let's just hope that Saliba can be that kind of player for us, because to me, and I tweeted it out at the match, and I just thought, am I sitting here looking at our Virgil van Dijk for the future? Because I couldn't believe he's 21. Can you imagine what this guy's going to be like in 2 or 3 seasons' time?
Yeah.
What a monster.
That's the thing with Van Dijk. If you never see him make those crunching last-ditch tackles, do you? He just always intercepts and just, shepherds players out of play.
Yeah.
And it's gotten to the point, too, where teams fear him. Like, there was a stat going around, I think it was last season, where no one's dribbled past him in 4 seasons. But then when you really look into the stats, only 2 players have even attempted to dribble past him. So it's okay, obviously, they're worried about him. So even if we get a player that just, that people are just scared of, I'll try to dribble around Gabrielle. It's oh, okay, good luck with that. I think that's just that does our whole back four wonders.
And I've said this before, but when we were back in the Wenger days and the Invincible days, that sort of era, we used to win games in the tunnel because we had such presence in the tunnel with the players, the stature of the players, and the commanding quality and the aura of the players. And we're starting to get a little bit back there now, especially with our back line. Saliba, standing next to Saliba in the tunnel. You're just looking up at him, thinking, "Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm going to be up against him today." It's good. It's phenomenal. Gabrielle, obviously, as well. Ben White and Tomiyasu when he plays, and it's getting that kind of quality back, which I love. I absolutely love that aspect about it. I just hope he has a great season.
We had such a good record from defending set plays last year. I know it sort of went a bit to shit towards the end of the season, but for a long time, we were quite good. And I think having that height, that physicality, but having that aggression and actually being able to read situations, I think that's, going to be so good for us.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can have another run where we don't concede from set pieces for a while. And with the players that we've got, I really don't see why we would.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And that's a great place to end it. And let's just hope to God that we really turn up. I couldn't be more confident that we will turn up on Saturday. Just hope for the right result, because I think we are going to be ready for this one. And I do think, well, same as you, I'm not going to predict the score, but I think we'll come away with the 3 points. And it's going to be at least 6-0. But apart from that, I won't go any more predictions. But thanks ever so much then for your time, guys, and thanks to everyone in the chat. So, and thank you to Melvin, who was on earlier. Ray, it's been a pleasure, absolute pleasure. I hope to see you on here again very, very soon.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, mate. It's a pleasure, and Ryan, it was a pleasure to meet you, mate.
Yeah, likewise. And my final words that I'll say is thank you for having me, obviously. But I'm just going to read your tweet. We're not talking about this because the show needs to end. But Ornstein tweeted Bernd Leno's contract. So Fulham almost complete. Permanent move from Arsenal worth $3 million plus $1 million based on Premier League appearances. Okay, fine. He should be their starter. That's not a big deal. $2 million if they stay in the Premier League once, and then another $2 million if they stay in the Premier League twice. So it looks like we may be giving 6 points to Fulham this season for an extra nice $2 million. So just be prepared to see us throw against Fulham twice. But I thought that was very interesting, and I just had to bring it up. But yeah,
unbelievable. I don't. You've really
send him to Galatasaray. Just send him to Galatasaray.
Yeah, nightmare. But yeah, thank you to Greg Ramjohn in the chat. Great, thank you to Guna Glenn. Thank you to Gary DWDTT. Thank you to Neil, who was here earlier, Guna70, James Johnston, and everyone else, Colonel that was in the chat. It's been absolutely brilliant. Please give us a like before you leave. That would be much appreciated. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. And we look forward to seeing you all next week, hopefully talking about a great 3 points. So once again, thank you very much. And come on, you Gunners.
Come on, you Gunners.